The lioness is not the queen of the savannah. She's the employee who does everything, owns nothing, and never gets the credit. You've seen the documentaries, the golden mane catching the sunrise, the thundering roar, the king surveying his kingdom. Forget all of that. The real story of lion society isn't about the king at all. It's about the female who hunts his food, raises his offspring, defends his territory, and eats whatever scraps are left when everyone else is finished. She's not royalty. She's labor, and her life is harder than anything you've been shown. The nature documentaries sell you a powerful predator at the top of the food chain, living a life of dominance and leisure in the African sun. Apex predator, no natural enemies, sounds perfect. But that's the male, the one with the mane, the one who shows up in slow motion with dramatic music. He's the face of the species. He's on the flags, the logos, the coat of arms, the symbol of strength and courage across 100 cultures. And he's basically a temp worker. Male lions hold their position in a pride for 2, maybe 3 years before younger, stronger males kick them out or don't survive the takeover. They rotate through. They're replaceable. The lionesses? They're born into the pride, live their entire lives there, and die there. They're the permanent staff, the institutional memory, the ones who actually know where the water is, where the prey migrates, which routes avoid the hyena territory. Nobody calls them queens. Nobody puts them on flags. They're the backbone of one of nature's most successful predator societies, and they're basically invisible in every story we tell about lions. The male gets the crown, and she gets the work that never stops. So what does she actually do all day? Everything. Lionesses do somewhere between 85 and 90% of all hunting for the pride. Let that number settle for a second. 9 out of 10 meals that feed the entire group, including the big male with the impressive mane who weighs nearly twice what she does, come from her work. And hunting isn't some casual afternoon activity. It's a coordinated military operation that happens mostly at night when she's already exhausted. The pride splits into roles. Some lionesses flank left, others drive prey toward the ambush point, and the most experienced hunters wait in position for the takedown. This is choreography refined over thousands of generations. They communicate through posture, through ear movements, through the angle of a tail. No sound. Prey animals know what a lion sounds like, and silence is survival. Most hunts fail. The success rate sits somewhere around 20 to 30%. That means for every zebra you see brought down in dramatic slow motion, there were 3 or 4 attempts where she sprinted, burned through calories she didn't have, and came back with nothing. Failed hunts aren't free. Every chase costs energy she can't spare, energy that has to come from somewhere when there's no meal at the end. The prey fights back too. Buffalo gore lions with their horns, zebras kick hard enough to shatter bones, and wildebeest stampede and trample anything in their path. A single bad moment, one unlucky kick, one horn in the wrong place, and her hunting career is over. Which means her life is over. She's exhausted, she's bleeding, and she finally brought something down. Now watch who eats first. The prey lies on the ground, steam rising in the cool morning air. She's panting, muscles burning, adrenaline still flooding her system. She hasn't eaten in 3 days. The hunt pushed her to the edge. A buffalo hit and wounded her flank. Now watch her step back. The male approaches first. He did nothing, wasn't part of the hunt, probably slept through most of it. But he eats first. Always. He can consume over 40 kilograms of meat in a single sitting, and he takes his time. Then the older cubs move in, then the younger ones. The lioness who made the catch, who coordinated the ambush, who took the injury, she waits. She eats last, whatever's left on the bones, the scraps nobody else wanted. If the catch is small, if prey has been scarce, if the drought has thinned the herds, she might not eat at all. The hierarchy doesn't care about her hunger or her injuries, or the fact that she's nursing cubs who need her milk. The hierarchy cares about the hierarchy. Try to move in too early and the male might attack her. This isn't some polite wait-your-turn situation. This is enforced through threat and violence. Imagine catering a dinner party, cooking all night, serving everyone else, and then being told you can lick the plates when they're done. That's her Tuesday. The feeding hierarchy is brutal, but it's nothing compared to what motherhood demands of her. A lioness can spend almost her entire adult life either pregnant or nursing. There's no off-season, no break, no recovery period. Pregnancy lasts about 3.5 months. Then she's nursing cubs who depend entirely on her milk for 6 months or more. By the time they're weaned, she's often pregnant again. The cycle just keeps turning. And during all of this, she's still hunting, still expected to provide for the pride, still taking down prey at night and giving up her share in the morning. There's no accommodation for pregnancy, no lighter duty. The savannah doesn't have an HR department. Raising cubs to independence takes years of constant vigilance and effort. Disease threatens them, starvation looms during droughts, and hyenas are always watching. She goes through all of this, the pregnancy, the nursing, the hunting while exhausted, and she has to stay alert through every moment of it. The odds are stacked against her cubs from the start. Some won't make it despite everything she does. But she keeps fighting for them anyway, because that's what mothers do. What the documentaries rarely show you is the violence between prides. This isn't just about males fighting males. Lionesses wage war. Every pride holds territory, and territory means everything. It's where the water is, where the prey migrates, where the safe denning sites are located. Lose your territory, and you lose the ability to survive. When neighboring prides clash over boundaries, it's the lionesses who do most of the fighting. These aren't brief scuffles. They're brutal, coordinated confrontations that can last for hours. Researchers have documented what they call lion wars, sustained conflicts between prides that result in serious injuries over weeks or months. Lionesses form battle lines, charge together, and target isolated individuals from rival groups. A lioness caught alone near a territorial boundary by a neighboring pride faces overwhelming odds. 3 or 4 females will surround her, attack from multiple angles, and the injuries can end her hunting ability permanently. The violence is strategic. Injuring a rival pride's members weakens their hunting ability, reduces competition for prey, and sometimes allows territorial expansion. This is warfare, not just aggression. She's not just a hunter, she's a soldier, and the battlefield is her home. Younger lionesses sometimes leave their birth pride to find new territory, and this is perhaps the most dangerous time in a lion's life. A dispersing female has no allies, no protection, no knowledge of where the boundaries lie. She walks into territories defended by lionesses who have lived there for generations, who know every hiding spot and ambush point. They don't welcome newcomers, they drive them out. Many dispersing females struggle for years before they ever establish themselves. The ones who succeed often bear permanent scars from the violence they endured to find a place in the world. Look closely at an older lioness, and you'll see the map of her life written in scars. The torn ear from a hunt gone wrong, the marks along her flank where buffalo horns found their target, the limp from a leg that healed but never quite right. Teeth worn down, cracked, missing entirely. Muscles that never fully recovered from injuries that would have hospitalized a human for months. She doesn't get to recover. There's no healing time built into the schedule. A lioness with a fresh wound hunts that night because the pride is hungry. A lioness with an infection keeps working because stopping means starving. Parasites live in her gut and under her skin. Ticks cluster around her ears and eyes, and mange eats away at her fur in patches. Her body hosts a small ecosystem of organisms, all taking their cut of her already depleted resources. In the dry season, she hunts in temperatures that would drop a human in minutes, running down prey in 40-degree heat while wearing a fur coat and carrying injuries that haven't healed. She can't sweat. She pants, and she keeps running because that's the only option. One serious injury ends everything. A broken leg, a torn tendon, anything that stops her from hunting, stops her from eating, stops her from living. There's no retirement, no disability accommodation. Just the slow slide from the center of the pride to its edges, where the old and injured are left behind. So how does she survive any of this? She doesn't do it alone. Something the grim parts of this story might have obscured. Lionesses don't exist in isolation. They're born into networks of mothers, sisters, aunts, and cousins that can span decades and generations. These bonds aren't sentimental. They're survival technology. The coordinated hunts that work so well work because these females have practiced together since they were cubs. They know each other's timing, each other's strengths, each other's tendencies. The lioness who always breaks left, the one who waits until the last second to commit. Trust built over years of shared effort. When cubs are born, mothers who delivered around the same time form what researchers call a creche. a communal nursery where females take turns watching all the cubs while others hunt. One lioness might nurse another's offspring. It's called allo-nursing, and it means that even if a mother dies, her cubs might survive. This isn't some utopian sisterhood, though. Resources are limited, and competition exists even within families. Lionesses show favoritism toward their own cubs over their sister's offspring. In lean times, when there's not enough food to go around, subtle hierarchies determine who eats and who doesn't. Some sisters get pushed to the edges of the group, some never fully integrate, and joining a new pride as an outsider means facing aggression that can turn lethal. The bonds are real. The love, if we're allowed to call it that, is real, and so is the competition. This is family in all its complicated, sustaining, suffocating glory. The only thing between a lioness and total annihilation is her sisters, and sometimes her sisters are also her rivals. Within this sisterhood, someone has to lead, but you'd never spot her in a documentary. Every nature documentary shows you the male, the mane catching the light, the territorial roar, the majestic survey of his kingdom. The narrator calls him the leader, the protector, the king. He doesn't know where the water is. He's been in this territory for 18 months, maybe 2 years. He came from somewhere else, fought his way in, and he'll be gone in another year or two when stronger males arrive. He doesn't know which hunting grounds are depleted. He doesn't remember where the pride weathered last year's drought, doesn't know which route through the tall grass keeps them clear of the hyena clan's territory. The oldest female knows all of it. She's been here her entire life, 15 years, 20 years. She remembers things no other member of the pride has experienced. The bad drought 7 years ago, the season when the river changed course, the patch of ground where 3 lions died to poachers. When the pride moves, researchers have observed that it's often the oldest female who initiates. She starts walking and the others follow. The male comes along because that's where the females are going. She decides when to hunt. She decides which direction, and she holds the accumulated wisdom of generations, passed from mother to daughter in behavior and habit and instinct. She is, in every meaningful sense, the leader of this pride. Nobody will call her that. No flag bears her image. No sports team takes her name. She leads hunts, raises generations, and holds the pride's memory in her scarred body and weathered face. And she does it while everything in the savannah wants her dead. The lioness is an apex predator. This is technically true. Nothing specifically evolved to hunt her. But the list of things that want her dead or want to take what she has is longer than you might think. Hyenas are the constant pressure. Hyena clans outnumber lion prides, sometimes dramatically. A single lion can dominate a few hyenas, but hyenas don't come in 2s and 3s. They come in dozens. They steal about a third of successful hunts, and that's when things go well. When the numbers shift in the hyena's favor, they've been known to overpower adult lions, and they target cubs especially. Buffalo are prey that didn't read the script. A lioness takes down a buffalo, and the herd might return, not fleeing, returning. They've been documented forming mobs to attack lions that threatened members of their group. The hunter becomes the hunted. Waterholes mean crocodiles. A lioness has to drink, a crocodile has to eat, and the calculation happens every single time. The environment itself shifts without warning. Drought years mean prey crashes, mean starvation. Fire drives everything into chaos. Floods reshape territories overnight. And through all of it, she has to keep hunting, keep nursing, keep leading. Other lion prides are out there, defending their own territories, and borders mean violence. She survived hyenas, buffalo, starvation, and territorial wars with rival prides. She wasn't prepared for us. Everything I've described is what the lioness evolved to handle. The hunting, the hierarchy, the territorial conflicts, the injuries. These are ancient pressures. She's been shaped by them over millions of years. What she wasn't shaped for is us. Lion populations have dropped by roughly half in the last 25 years. Half in a single human generation. The savannah is shrinking. Farms push into what was wildland, roads cut territories in pieces, and fences stop the migrations that prey animals need to survive, which means the prey disappears, which means the lions starve. When a starving pride takes cattle because the wild prey is gone, the response is often poison. Farmers lace carcasses with toxins that kill not just the lion who ate it, but the entire pride who feeds afterward, cubs included. Whole family units wiped out in a single act of retaliation for a problem we created. Trophy hunting takes the biggest males, which destabilizes prides and triggers violent upheaval as new males fight to take over. Climate change is making droughts longer and more severe, and the dry seasons that were already devastating lion populations are becoming worse. Water sources that held through bad years are failing. Even tourism, the thing that's supposed to help by making lions economically valuable, comes with costs. Vehicles stress the animals, noise disrupts hunts, and the presence of humans changes behavior in ways we're still trying to understand. She adapted to the savannah, but she can't adapt to this. So is there anything worth taking from this? I think there is. We put the male lion on everything. Flags, crests, sports teams, corporate logos, the symbol of strength and courage and dominance across cultures and centuries. Look at what we actually learned today. The female hunts the food, and the female raises the young. The female leads the group, holds the knowledge that keeps everyone alive, endures the injuries and the losses and the endless physical demands. The male shows up, eats first, contributes genetic material, and leaves in 2 years when someone stronger arrives. His job is to look intimidating and fight other males occasionally, and we made him the symbol of strength. Maybe we should reconsider what strength actually means. Strength isn't the roar. Strength isn't the mane, and strength isn't the dramatic display that gets you on flags. Strength is hunting on 3 hours of sleep while you're still bleeding from last night's failed attempt. Strength is losing cubs to starvation and disease and getting up to hunt again because the pride is hungry and no one else is going to do it. Strength is leading without credit, working without recognition, enduring without complaint, because the alternative is everyone you love starving. Strength is invisible. It always has been, in the savannah and everywhere else. The lioness doesn't get to be the symbol. She just does the work, takes the damage, keeps going. Maybe that's exactly what strength looks like when you strip away the performance. I won't see lions the same way after learning this, and I hope you won't either. Not because we should pity the lioness. Pity isn't what she needs, and it isn't what she'd want if she could want anything. But because the next time someone talks about strength, about leadership, about who holds things together when everything is trying to fall apart, we might remember who actually does the work. We might remember who eats last, who leads without the crown. The lioness, still hunting, still surviving, still invisible. That's the story nobody tells you about the king of the jungle. There is no king. There never was.